We've been able to get out and use the truck camper a few times now, so I thought I would go over our build with you just to let you know how it's working out for us. We've realized how handy the jack brackets are. Obviously, I got my propane tank hanging from it. We will hang a clothesline from the side, hang wet towels, that type of thing. This is our camp kitchen. Got a type of a hanger hook on it. It would just hang in from there. So it's real handy when we're cooking close to the truck. I wanted to show you the supply line for the propane, and then this is our exhaust for the heater itself. That has worked out well as far as its placement. We've had the camper on and off the truck several times, and it's not been in the way or prohibitive in any manner. So with the propane tank mounted here, I've got the regulator and the regulator hose. I've just kind of ran over the back side of it to keep it out of the way and away from the exhaust and from when the door opens. That all comes off when we're traveling. So the propane tank's got a dust cover that will go over that inlet just to keep all the dirt and grime out of it. Now when the door opens in its locked position, I've still got a couple inches of clearance here by the tank, so that placement ended up being real good for us. Now going inside, okay, now that we're inside, we got the refrigerator, which is mounted on top of the battery compartment. Real handy spot right here as you come in the back door. The tie down location has been well. It's held it secure and it hasn't moved at all while we were traveling. Got in some off-road conditions and it just didn't move. 3.5 inches between the refrigerator and the cabinet, and that gives plenty of room to get into the latches to open that up. Now, there's been times we'll stop at a store while we're traveling to throw a few items in, and in doing so, you can probably raise the lid about that high so you can stick a few things in there. So, but if you need to raise it all the way up, you're going to have to raise the back of the camper, which is not a big deal either, and you can fill the whole thing full. No troubles reaching into the refrigerator. Inside, it has these baskets, and we have cut some plastic cutting board to place into the bottom to help protect cans from the wire basket itself. Now, the one thing I will mention that was very handy, with it being hooked up to solar, we went into the BWCA for a week, camping away from the truck camper in a tent. When we came back to the camper, our cold drinks were just as cold as they were when we left, so we had a little celebration drink when we got back. Just real nice to know that it's going to be as cold when you get back as when you left it. So next to the refrigerator is our cabinet. Debbie's got her backsplash that goes all the way across it and down behind the refrigerator. We got the laminated top on it, just like you'd have in your house, laminated counter. So it just wipes off anything gets on that. Inside on the left side, this is all of our cooking utensils. So we got our stove packed on the top, pots, pans, silverware, dish pans, the whole bit. I wanted to show you underneath of this non-slip material on this particular shelf. We put an access panel in to access the top of the heater. This gets into the control panel, so if we ever have to get in there, there's like 2 screws we can get to, undo them, and access the top of that without pulling that heater all the way out. Down on the bottom shelf is the heater itself. The intake and exhaust for the heater goes out directly below it. On this side, this is the propane coming in. We put this pipe in here to help protect it so something didn't bump up against it and damage it in any way. Obviously, this is where the exhaust for the hot air comes out. That's been a very good location for us. This is good. Puts the heat right down towards the floor. When we're sitting over here dressing in the morning, that's probably when it's the coldest we've used it, and it just puts the heat right on you. So very happy with all of that side. The sliding doors. We really like the sliding doors. When you open them, they don't come out and get in your way of the small area that you're in here. I will say that this, for some reason, this left door, when we travel, it'll open maybe about that far, 1.5 inches or so. If it doesn't do any more than that, we'll probably leave it alone. If it gets to where it opens all the way, we may have to do something, a magnet or something in the door track to keep it from opening up. But so far, we can live with that part of it. Over on this side, this is all pantry. It's been empty out. We're getting ready for another trip now, but the food items that we had in there lasted way over a week, wouldn't you say, Debbie? Maybe even would have went 2 weeks.
To 2,
yeah. This is the control panel for the furnace. That location has worked out real well for us. Easy to reach from bed. Like I said, when we use the heater, we have not used it overnight. We just let it go. Wake up in the morning, it's pretty cool. I can reach out of bed, click it on, it fires up, and it warms it up in no time, and we can get out, get dressed, and be comfortable with that. In the bed area, we sleep east to west with no problem. So this slides out to a queen where you can put these extra cushions up on top and make it a queen size bed. We don't utilize that. We just leave it closed up like that. So the bed's made all the time. No need to redo anything there. It's plenty big for us. Debbie put this down comforter on there. In our last trip, it got down into the mid-30s at night. I think the thermostat was showing inside the camper. It was 44 degrees. Very toasty in here. Did not get cold one bit all night long. So that worked out real well for us. One note on it being so cold outside was all the condensation on the canvas and up on the ceiling. So we found it necessary to wipe the canvas down and all the ceiling off each morning. It did do better when we vented this window here and even the top vent, but there was still a lot to where you would want to wipe that off. I know one day we packed down early, and that evening when we opened the top back up, I could actually see the condensation run down the canvas. And that's when we realized that needed to be wiped off every morning. Up in the front of the camper, right below the bed, is our storage bench. We used our extra cushions from the bed for seating on top of that. Got a latch to hold the lid up. Now on this side is where we keep our foldable clothes. That's proven to be plenty of room for a couple weeks. Over on the other side is the porta pot. This front just pops off. We used the 3M commando strips to keep that attached, but the porta pot will just slide in and out as you need it. And these commando strips have worked out well. Haven't had any issue with that falling off while we're traveling, so it holds it well. The bench has really proved out to be real handy for sitting here of a morning and dressing, putting your shoes on. We've been caught in some rainy weather a couple times. We'll sit in here and eat dinner, coffee of a morning, breakfast, whichever, but plenty of room to do any of that. Now, the rug on the floor, I didn't think that was going to be a big deal, but it is. When it gets down real cold, that floor is cold. So when you step out of bed, it's nice to have that rug. Okay, over on the passenger side, this is yet to where we put our toiletry cabinet. Still looking for the right materials that wanting to use for that. Put a laminated top on this and extended it beyond the cabinet. Gives us a little more extra room. It's easy to wipe off. These lower cabinets will get painted. The little storage cubby up here is going to get revamped just to make it a little more character to it. On the back wall, Debbie's put some 3M hooks. There's 6 of them in total. These 2 can stay in place when the top is folded down. The other 4 up high have to be taken off just because of the way it folds down and the way it's configured. They become in the way. But they're real easy to take on and off. Just pop on. But that's a good place to hang your cap, shirts, pants, whatever at night when you go to bed. And then down here, this is where I moved the power panel. 12-volt supply. This has got the 2 USB ports. Plug your phone in there to charge it. I usually just lay my phone in between the refrigerator and the cabinet. But it's real handy down here. It's out of the way. Just a nice place to have it. The one thing we realized with the particular stove that we have, when it rained and we had to come inside and cook, that our counter is not deep enough to accommodate the stove and the propane tank too, because it sets off the backside. So to use it, we had to tilt it at this angle. So when we came home, got online and found this flexible hose. Has the same regulator on it that the one that come with it. So we'll be able to put that on that tank, and I think that'll keep our stove more straight and we won't have to put that at an angle. Until next time.